I'm going to talk today about the personal growth trap, the trap of needing to continuously improve and increase your skill level, see noticeable progress in something, some hobby that you're working on, some skill that you're developing, even your self-awareness, anything in the realm of personal improvement, development, growth. Um, and, this need to continue to change in a positive way and be able to measure progress can really manifest in people in a few different ways. One of them is the kind of trendier, life hacking, productivity, growth type mindset of, always be improving, improve 1% every day kind of thing. That's maybe the more positive version of it. It can also feel like perfectionism. It can feel like I have to be a certain way. I have to keep getting better, or I should keep getting better. And a lot of that comes from conditioning, from how you were trained early in your life, from your parents or teachers or coaches or advertising, media, what you saw in movies, TV. Something gave you the message that you are not fully okay as you are. You have to keep changing. You have to keep doing something. It's never enough. That's the more negative version. And a lot of the clients I see, most of them have one of those two variations. And pretty much all of them struggle with feeling like they're not advancing quickly enough, or they're not fully reaching their potential. There's more for them to do, and they want to figure it out as soon as possible, right? And that makes sense. If you've been told your whole life, whether by your parents or by, life hacking books that you read, productivity books that you read, or mentors that you've had, or, people that you've idolized, titans of business or entrepreneurs or whatever, if you keep seeing that message again and again, that these people that we idolize, that society idolizes, have achieved great things by a certain age, or that they work, 80-hour weeks, or they're so excited about their jobs that they're always working and they're always improving, or they have these super rigorous morning routines and they get up at 5 a.m. and do all this stuff, right? It's always better and better and better, right? It's a lot of pressure. And, you might even apply that attitude to self-care, trying to be gentle. I'm going to do extreme self-care. I'm going to, wake up early in the morning so that I can do my journaling and my meditation and my exercise and all this for myself to reduce my stress, right? And if you take that too far even, then that gives you pressure. That makes you feel pressure. And so, I really want to advocate, especially at the end of the year here, when we're on this day of the solstice, when it's the longest night of the year. I think it's really a great time to just slow down and just recognize there's no hurry. I really believe, after years of my own work, being a personal growth enthusiast myself, and years of coaching other top performers, that a healthy amount of drive is awesome, but it's so easy to fall down the slippery slope of too much, pushing yourself too hard, listening too strongly to those voices in your head that got, drilled into you early in life. And you might even know they're there, right? Like, oh, that's my father's voice. He was always telling me I'm not enough, right? You might know that logically, and still you feel it. It still affects you, even if you've done something productive already today, you still feel like it's not enough. Crossing off 3 items on my to-do list is not enough. I have to cross off 10. Then that's a good day. And what you'll probably find is even if you cross off 10, then you'll look down, oh, what about 11? That's a really important one too. So it's really never ending. The only solution is to slow down and be satisfied with your own pace. Be satisfied by not being perfect. And it really is an interesting paradox, because I think a lot of these top performers that I coach, when I tell them things like this, where their mind goes is, I don't want to be lazy. I know I'm capable of more. Why would I settle for less? And I think the answer is it's not that you're settling for less, and it's not really that you're capable of more. I mean, theoretically, technically, you're capable of more. Like, technically, all of us are capable of working for 24 hours straight. Right? You could just decide, I am not allowed to leave this chair until I've crossed off as many to-do items as I can for 24 hours straight. That's possible, right? But that's really not a good idea. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to feel good the next day at all. You're not going to feel good for a few days probably. And so it's not just a question of what is possible. What is your potential if you work yourself to the bone? The question has to be, what is possible given the quality of life that you want? I'm lucky enough that I have a lot of flexibility in my schedule that I've built in. I often have a long wait list of clients that want to see me, and I could choose to see more clients easily. I could turn that dial and work more hours and make more money. And it's not even like I'm making an amazing amount of money right now where I don't have to worry about anything. I'm not even close to that, because I have dialed down so much to prioritize my quality of life, to prioritize flexibility and free time. So I've consciously sacrificed that extra money that I could be making because I so value flexibility and freedom. And I know there's a lot of privilege in saying that, and most people don't have jobs where they can turn that dial up and down. But just to say, I think this type of situation offers me a unique perspective where I can see I have really control over turning that knob. I can see what happens when I turn it up. I make more money and I see more clients. And what happens is it drains me more. At the end of the day, I feel more like all I can do is watch Netflix, or I don't feel inspired anymore to work on creative projects. Whereas if I turn that knob down and I see fewer clients, then at the end of the day, I have more energy left over. So to me, it's a balancing act of what are all your priorities in life, right? Health, family, connections, friends, low stress, a healthy body free of inflammation because you're not pushing yourself too hard. At a really existential level, I think the purpose of life cannot be to just constantly be growing, constantly be improving at whatever you're doing. I was talking to a client yesterday who just has a lot of trouble just doing hobbies for fun. Their mind has been so trained through all those sources I mentioned earlier that it feels like everything must have a purpose. There's no reason to learn this new skill or take on this new hobby unless I can see progress, that I'm constantly improving, or unless I can monetize it, turn it into a business, or unless at least it feels like I'm getting something tangible out of it, that I can do something with it. It's not enough to kind of just be enjoying it in the moment. And I think this is such an important thing that we have to catch in ourselves and retrain ourselves to notice. Does it feel like I have to be improving at this for it to be worthwhile? Or can it be enough to just be doing this just for fun? Um, and and I think the way to do that is, as you're working on a hobby or a skill or whatever it is, just slow down enough and check in with yourself as you're doing it to find small moments of pleasure. What is good about this right now? What am I enjoying? And if you do feel that desire to grow, maybe check what's one thing I learned today about this. What's one small thing that it feels like I've gotten a little better at? But even then, it's a trap, because it's always going to feel like you could be going faster, you could be learning more. And so I think that when you really zoom out to look at the span of your life, it's, what are you working toward? There's no need to work toward being the master of whatever you're doing. Life is just a series of days where you want to feel as fulfilled as possible that day, and as happy as possible, as connected to something as you can. And it really has to be about the journey over the destination, because the destination is just you're dead at the end. Right? And so who cares how much skill you developed in something, right? Like if you pushed yourself to the bone, just feeling super stressed every day so that you could become the master of this specific skill, and then you're dead. So all your life was spent in this state of pushing yourself as hard as you could, and you didn't enjoy the ride. So it really has to be about, every day, are you enjoying the ride? And I think that's impossible if you're pushing yourself too hard. So really the way to enjoy a ride is to be, looking out the window at the scenery and really enjoying that moment of what's good about this right now. Right now. It always has to be right now. All right. So I'll leave you with that. And as we approach the end of the year here, I invite you to practice slowing down. And whatever it is you've been trying to grow in, whatever it is you've been trying to develop skill in, just see if next time you work on that, it can be not about improving and just about being. Just about enjoying something from that experience. Good luck.